All right, let's look at 7-7A, a business decision that is requiring us to decide whether to manufacture the goods ourselves or to buy these goods from a supplier. If we should make the goods ourselves, the cost of making 100,000 units, you can see here, is 600,000. So the problem with this decision, or this type of decision, is we should only look at the relevant costs. And it's a little tricky because I think what most of us would see initially is that we should outsource because it would only cost us 500,000, where when we make 100,000 units it looks like it costs us 600,000. The tricky part is the allocated fixed costs. Fixed costs are fixed. Unless you're told otherwise, we have to assume that this 200,000 will be 200,000 whether you make 1 unit or 100,000 units, or if you make 0 units or 100,000 units. So this 200,000 is to be assumed to be a sunk cost unless we're told otherwise. So if that were the case, if all of this fixed cost that's been allocated to that product were sunk costs, then our relevant cost would be just $4. But we were given additional information. Besides being told this $4, the variable cost would go away because you'd lay off your workers. What it is saying is, of that allocated fixed cost, you would have 50,000 less. So that means of this 200,000, only 150,000 is sunk. This 50,000 is very relevant in this decision. So what is relevant is the $4 per unit and the 50,000. So how do we then make a decision? Still, we need to be able to compare to this 500,000. Well, what we're looking at is if we buy 1 unit, it would cost us $5 a piece. 500,000 divided by 100,000 units. All right. So what we want to do is see, okay, if it's $5 to buy, what would we save? What's the incremental cost of making this good? So the incremental cost, if you calculate it, the incremental cost per unit, what you would get is you would get your $4 per unit, your variable cost, and then the portion of the fixed cost that will not go away, which is your 500,000. But I want to 50,000, excuse me. But I want that 50,000 in terms of units. So 50,000 was based on 100,000 units. So we could get that into a per unit cost. So let's do that. So this product to make is $4 plus 50 cents per unit for a total of $4.50. Now what do we do with that? Well, you compare it to the cost to outsource. If your incremental cost of making a good is greater, then you should outsource. Okay? But this is not the case. Our 450 is less than the $5, so we should make our good, not buy. So again, be careful of the fixed costs. Fixed costs are typically sunk costs. They don't go away. We should only be considering the relevant costs, i.e. the costs that would change as a result of a decision or go away, as would be the case in a make or buy situation.